on my chilies. These are the ones from the Gourmet's Chili Challenge. They've got reasonable size now, so I'm going to put some of these on. And these are my sweet peppers. These are King of the North. So these were planted on the 11th of January. So these have come up quite well. I only planted 6 seeds, so 100% germination on that. Other things we're going to do today is we're going to plant some seeds. So we're going to plant some purple spring onions, some thyme, sage, some oregano, and some parsley. We're also going to do some purple basil. It's actually called red-leaved basil, but there's nice purple leaves on the plant. And we're going to do some of these red cabbages. So we can sow these. They'll be kept indoors until next month at the very least, anyway. So first things first is I'm going to do the Gourmet's chilies. So I'll just give myself some space. Get some compost in here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Sharpie to dip some holes, and I'm going to put one seedling in each cell. When they get a little bit bigger, I'll take these cells out and I'll put them in medium-sized pots. So there's no wrong, well, the best way to do this is not to touch the stem, is always handle by the leaves. So I don't know whether you can see that. There you go. So we're going to plant this deep. Doesn't need this big long stem. We'll plant it deep like that. Just help it in a little bit. There you go. First one done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the biggest ones and give myself a bit of a chance. So the 6 in this trail, say, I might do a few more than 6, just in case anything happens. I don't want to have to repot at the moment. That can go in there. Ripped the leaf off that one. I've actually taken the red onions and the leeks that I sowed at the same time as these chilli plants. I've taken them up to the allotment and put them in the greenhouse there. I've got a little greenhouse there. I mean, it's not that warm at this time of the year, but the onions and leeks don't really need a lot of warmth, but they will get maximum sunlight. This shed, although it's got a nice big window, the sun actually comes round from the back, so it doesn't get proper full sunlight until late on in the day when the sun's going down at this time of the year. So there you go, there's 6 potted up now. I'll just see, I'll put the rest in a little pot. It won't matter. They're just for backups anyway. Once they get to this stage, they're usually okay, but just in case anything happens to them, I'll just take a few more as backup. I won't bother labelling these because I'll know what they are. Famous last words. So that's the chilli seeds done with. The next ones are going to be the King of the North sweet chilies. Sweet peppers, not sweet chilies, sweet peppers. 6. So I'll use another one of these cell trays. It's just a matter of more the same. These will be kept somewhere warm in the house, near a window to get as much sunlight as possible, but they'll stay in the house until about April. Then I'll take them up to the allotment and put them in the small greenhouse. It's quite a nice day today, but it's really cold. But it hasn't rained. I know there's lots of people getting snow this weekend. There's snow warnings out all over Scotland, but I just didn't fancy standing up in the allotment. It's just so cold. So at least I'll get something done this weekend. Now these King of the North red peppers, they're quite tolerant to cold weather. Not this cold, but they're a good crop if you live in more northern parts of the country. Well, so the packet says. I've never grown these before, so it'll be interesting. The ones I grew last year were called New Ace, I think they were called. And while they were okay, they were rather thin walls of a pepper, so you didn't actually get a lot of the flesh for each pepper. There you go. King of the North. So this little tool, I don't know where I got it from. I think it was from a little plant potting set someone bought years ago, before we even had a garden. But it's great for just picking out seedlings. So let me get some more compost. So I think I'll grow the herbs in here. No, I'll do some spring onions in here. Unless I've got a bigger cell tray with more cells. Just check. Okay, let's see what I've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multi-sow these. So I'll sow them in clumps, then I'll plant them out in clumps, and I will harvest them in clumps as well. This is it's called Red Toga, and it's verb. It means it's from B&Q. Unlike all the other allium seeds, they're small black, just small black seeds. So I'm going to drop about 6 seeds in each cell. Doesn't have to be exact. And what I'll do is I'll re-sow some of these every month, hopefully. It's one thing I'm bad at is successional growing. So I seem to forget to do it. So what I'm going to plan and do is get these sown, then next month do the same thing again, and then plant them on, so that by the time these are ready, I've got others ready to harvest as well. Let's get some. With the seeds being so dark as well, it's very hard to see where they are, but they only need a slight covering. I'm just being careful I don't actually remove the seeds as I remove the excess compost, but I think they're all in there. I'll just write a label at the minute until I print one out. There we go, spring onions done. And let's see. Oh, that's a shame. I think I'll use square pots. I think I'll use square pots for the herbs and just put them round here. I'm running out of space. I'll just put on my Black & Decker table. Actually, these can go at the end of this bench. There is hardly enough room to swing a cat in this shed at the moment. So what I want is some of these small square pots, and I can put these around the outside of the spring onions. So let's get them filled up. I think there's 4 different types of seedlings I'm going to be doing. 4 different types of herbs, that is. not the best compost, but hey ho, it will do for this. So let's see what we've got. Try not to rock the camera. Right, first thing I'm going to sow is sage. I did have a sage plant, but it's died. It was out in the garden, it's a couple of years old. Went to sow February to March. Choose a compost, sow thinly, cover lightly with fine compost, and filling gently. Keep to 15 to 20 degrees C and keep moist. Seedlings in 14 to 28 days. Thin as necessary. Let's have a go. I don't actually use a lot of sage in cooking, but it is nice to have now and again. So these are little round seeds, quite like cabbage and other brassica seeds. I'll plant 6 seeds out and see how they go. Bear with me while I go and get my, well, I'm back again. I've got my labelling machine, so let's get some labels made for these. So this is sage. And yes, this is it the 6? Yeah. So there you go. So I'll leave that one because I'm doing basil, so I can use that one. And I'll just cover it with some compost. Next one is going to be parsley. Now this is called Giant of Italy, so I'm expecting good things from this. Expecting a big plant. So indoors all year round. So outdoor from March. So I'll keep this indoor until the plants come up, then we'll plant them outside somewhere. Well, I don't know where because we can't really do it here at home because of the rabbits. They would just love to have a parsley plant all to themselves. So I'm putting in quite a few seeds. The seeds are quite small, so I'm putting in quite a few. So I'll have more than one plant in a large plant pot. What I'll do is I'll plant it out like a bush. Hopefully that's the best way to do it. Just from that down a little bit. Print another label. There we go, parsley. And today's date, which is the 6th of the 2nd. Thyme. Love thyme. Use it a lot in my cooking. Really nice. Did have one of the plants. Grew it from these seeds a couple of years back. It sort of died. Now these have very fine seedlings, very fine seeds. As you can see, very small seeds. So just gather them in there. Put a few more in. So indoors, February through to May. Plant out May onwards. Usual. Do the seedlings about 15 to 20 degrees C. I haven't watered any of these because the compost is quite damp. Quite like this labelling machine. I know it's I could write quicker than it takes to do this. But I found that when you put them out in the weather, the rain will eventually wash off the Sharpie pens, so you can't actually read what's in there. So this is quite a good method. And also the one button to push to get the date. So you push the one button for the date pops up, and another button to print it out. So oregano, oh, well, this is one of my favourites as well. Makes everything smell like pizzas. So this is Greek oregano. I didn't know there was enough different varieties like that, but yeah, it's really good. It grows quite well. It's quite hardy. This is another very fine seed, like the thyme. So I'll see, there's quite a lot of seeds in there. It won't matter if they all come up. Oregano is one of those herbs that you can, if you use a bit more, it just makes it a bit more great. So you can't really have enough, really. It's a bit awkward if you're used to typing on a computer keyboard. Having to use a key layer set out like this is it's a bit awkward because the keys aren't where you expect them to be. It's actually getting very dark out there. I wonder whether we're going to have any rain. The allotments are still quite waterlogged at the moment. I was up this morning to collect my potatoes. I'll show you them in a minute. Collect my seed potatoes. So that was a chance just to have a look at things. I fixed the windbreak around my broad beans a little more secure, and I put my leeks and my onions into the little greenhouse. Let's get another. I think I need another. I think I need another 2 pots at least. Now some people sieve their compost before they plant the seeds. I'm not too bothered, to tell you the truth. They'll come up or they won't, whether there's lumps in the compost or not. So what I'm going to do is this red basil. Now this red basil is really, really nice. It tastes just like the green basil, but it's a much nicer plant to look at. Beautiful red leaves. So again, slightly bigger than the oregano and the thyme seeds, but still smaller than the onion seed. But at least these ones are big enough you can handle. I'll just scatter a few in there. Along, similar to the oregano, you can never have too much of it in your food. More basil just makes the food taste even better. Let's just put some compost over the top of this one. I might actually get these in big pots and put them around the front, in the front garden. Just out the way, because if I leave them around the back, the rabbits will have them. And the last one I'm going to do today, I think, is the red cabbage. Not a big fan of cabbage. It's certainly on its own. I'm not a big fan of it on its own, and I'm not a big fan of it boiled, but I do like it sort of like in a stir fry or things like that. So let's have a look at these. Okay, so this is a heirloom pickling cabbages. Red drumhead. It's super easy to grow and yields beautiful densely packed heads from late summer on. Its leaves are a gorgeous deep purple red and the hearts a striking dark red. The colour texture and the ability to hold its flavour make red drumhead ideal for both cooking and pickling. It also creates a colourful accent to raw dishes and salads. Spring planted, this variety matures from September through to Christmas and also stores well. So March to May, so thinly and finely raked seedbed. You can transplant them out. So that's what they look like. I'm going to maybe do 6 of them and I'll plant them out. At the allotment once they're big enough. Okay, now they're little round brassica seeds, similar to what was the first ones I did. Similar to the sage, I think it was the sage I said looked like brassica leaves, brassica seeds. So I'll put 6 in here and see how they germinate. I do have some more. There are more in the packet. So if I have to, I can sow some more if these don't come out. Maybe about 20 more seeds in there. But I never thought about pickling. That's an idea. Pickled red cabbage. We pickle beetroot. We make chutneys. So pickled red cabbage might be nice. So yeah, let's print the label off. Now these red cabbages are part of a gift set I got for Christmas that I showed in the last video, where there was 15 heirloom seed types of different vegetables and some planting sticks in the how to grow guide. So you'll probably see more of it through the year as we sow more and more of the different varieties. Certainly the broccoli and the spring onions, things like that. So that's all the seedlings getting done. Last thing to show you just before I go is distribute and sell the potatoes. So what I've got here is I've got a 3 kilogram bag of Desiree. This is a nice red potato. So this is a main crop of potato. So what I'll be doing is I'll be laying these all out somewhere to chit. And there's a hole in the bottom of the bag. Oh, that's not good. I might as well put them out here. So to chip, what happens is you put them somewhere bright and not too warm, but not frost free. Cool but frost free. And what happens is instead of these white roots growing, it will start to grow dark black roots, which are more stronger than the white roots. And it just gives you a head start. Everyone does it. Everyone, practically everyone who grows potatoes on this scale will chit the potatoes. But farmers growing a field full of potatoes, they wouldn't bother with that sort of thing. Does it help? Who knows? So these will be left probably in the conservatory somewhere, and they will be chitted until I'm ready to put them out, which will probably be end of March. So that's the Desiree. I might just I'll just put that in there just a reminder. I shouldn't need it because I think it's the only red potato I'm growing this year. I have also got 3 kilogram bag of calla, which is a white potato. This is also a main crop. So that's 3 kilogram of Desiree and 3 kilogram of Cara. And this is my first of these, called Rocket, which is a white sort of like new potato sort of thing, waxy potato. So 1 kilogram of Rocket will keep us going for a while until the main crops arrive. Well, that's it for today. Next thing for me to do is to get all these seedlings that are going back inside. Certainly the peppers and the potatoes. Well, I don't want the potatoes out here because the risk of frost. But that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. As you can see, I've got pots everywhere. That box is actually, that box there has compost in it, damp compost, and has all the carrots that I took out the carrot beds stored in there, which is an ideal way of storing them over the winter. But the spring onions are in there. I shall take these seedlings back indoors, including the extras that I potted, and these pots of herbs, they'll come indoors until they actually sprout. These ones here are cauliflower that were planted the 11th of January. So this one here is is all year round, and these 3 are Clapton. I think those labels are the wrong way round. I think there was 3 of those and 1 Clapton. Cauliflower's a cauliflower. We'll see what happens when they come up. But anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully next time we'll be up at the plot. Well, that's the raspberry bed weeded, and what I've done is I've mulched. Let me turn you around this way. I've mulched over with waste, straw and hay from a rabbit's hutch. Now the reason I've done this is get rid of some hay. I've got stacks of it, I've got bags of it, to conserve water. We get quite warm summers here and it takes a lot to water, so I'm hoping that by mulching like this it will conserve water and I won't have to water it so often during the summer. And also, by doing this, it's going to add, it's going to rot down and add more structure to the soil. Hopefully more organic matter will break down into the soil. So you can just see, sorry for the camera work, you can just see here that the raspberries are starting to grow. These are autumn fruiting raspberries, so we'll get some raspberries this summer. And what you do is, in the winter time, you just cut them back all down to the ground and you get new growth for the next summer. So that's one job done today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get this bed weeded. This is the strawberries and gooseberries. We can just see the gooseberries are starting to bud up. So I really should have pruned them, but I'm not very good at pruning. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to pruning. I might have a go and see, because they are a bit of a tangle. See if I can get a better shape. It's this is about the second dry day we've had for a very long time. It's actually a very nice day today. It's about 10-12 degrees, and I've got the weekend and Monday off work as well, so I plan to get up here and get a few jobs done. I'm going to pull out all the leeks, take them home and chop them up and put them in the freezer. I'm going to weed the carrot beds here. I'm also going to pull out all these nettles and use them for making nettle tea. As you can see up here, I've got this big tub I found in the back of shed number 2. So I'm going to put all the nettles in there, add water and make nettle tea. And here I've got some sweet peas and I've got some red cabbage. These are red cabbage I sowed on the 6th of February. So that's red cabbage. These are leeks and onions for next year. They're not looking all that great because the pot I had them in, I put it in the boot of the car and I drove up here, and when I opened the boot of the car when I got up here, there was just soil and seedlings everywhere. So we'll see what happens. We'll give them a try and see what happens. This area, I want to get this area cleaned really badly, so possibly this weekend. I also want to get a wooden border on this bed. I've got some wood in the shed, so I want to get some wooden edging like that. It just makes it easier for maintenance because I can trim the grass right up to the wooden border. These are actually, this is my garlic. And at this top part are the onions. So garlic and onions are doing okay. That area over there is covered. That's going to be where the potato pots go. The potatoes are chitting still in the conservatory at home. These are my broad beans. They're looking desperately sad. Some of them have next to nothing because of the weather we've had. But this one here has actually got some flowers on it. It's a bit early. They should be about should be a lot taller before I wanted them to get flowers on, but we'll see what happens. These broccolis are sad. This one is not going to get much bigger than that. It's about 1.5 inches across. The others, well, this one's going to seed here, and the kale's all died off now, so these have just been ravaged by, they were killed by nets, but it must have been slugs. All like that. So yeah, once the soil warms up, maybe about April, I'm going to go around all the beds with nematodes, and I'm going to give them some nematodes, see if I can control the slugs that way. The blueberry bush is doing rather well. There's a little flower on that one, so that's looking quite well, that bush. The other one's just as good. The rhubarb's growing as well. I've actually got a bag of manure I got from the trading hut that I'm going to put down and give that a feed. That was quite good last year, the manure. Not the manure, the rhubarb. Daffodils just almost getting ready to open. They'll look nice, bring a bit of colour. Yeah, things are beginning to move in the right direction at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to pack up now and head home. The sun's going down, but we should have some fine weather all over the weekend, so I'll see if I can film some other stuff. That's it, bye for now.